In honor of the host country, would you please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Round Rock Police Department Honor Guard and the singing of the national anthem by Texas Special Olympics athlete Renee Manfredi and Houston Astros national anthem singer Kalahari Resort.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
To offer the invocation, please welcome from the Austin Police Department, Chaplain Rick Randall.
Good morning. Would you please join with me as we pray? Heavenly Father, we come to you this morning with our hearts filled with gratitude. We're grateful for your grace and loving kindness, which has allowed us to wake up this morning and has given us another day of life that we may be fruitful for your kingdom. We're also grateful for the leadership of the law enforcement torch run and for the thousands of men and women who consistently give of their time, talents, and treasure in order to serve this cause. Lord, the flame these torch bearers carry is a flame of hope. In a world that knows war and division and suffering, this flame represents hope. It represents a promise that goes beyond what we may see in the moment. We believe, God, that every life is a gift from you. Every person born is a reminder that you have not grown weary of the human race, nor have you turned away from pouring out your mercy upon us. We celebrate the Special Olympics athletes and the many among us with intellectual disabilities. While some would focus on what they cannot do, these young people show us over and over again incredible examples of your love and kindness. They inspire us to see beyond the obstacles to a greater hope and promise. We ask this morning, Lord, for your blessing upon this conference. We pray that every session will be rich with new and inspiring ideas, and that the fellowship for those attending will be life-giving. We also pray for the men and women of law enforcement across this nation and throughout the world, as they put their lives on the line every day and seek to push back the darkness and chaos of evil that threatens us. May they know your strength, your courage, and your protection. Bless them to return home safe at the end of their shifts and to know that they have been your ambassadors, your peacemakers. Cause them to be mindful of the promise of your special blessing, for as you have said in your word, they shall be called sons and daughters of God. Surround us now with your presence, we pray, in your great and majestic name. Amen.
Please welcome LETR International Executive Council Chairman, Scott White.
Good morning. I'll try my best to speak a little bit slowly because, as many of you know, I don't come from here. Welcome to Texas. I'd like to thank Tim Martin and the team at SO Texas for stepping up this year. It's been a long time since we've been here, and to be honest, if it wasn't for Tim's determination, who knows what would have happened. So thank you, Tim. I came out of our council meeting, yesterday, and walked towards the elevators, and it dawned on me that I thought Disneyland was the happiest place in the world. I think right now, this weekend, Round Rock, Texas is the happiest place in the world. I couldn't believe how many smiles I saw, both as I walked through the corridors, as I went out to the reception yesterday afternoon. It was absolutely fabulous. So you're all obviously very, very happy to be here. Now, we haven't been able to get together like this for over 3 years. It really has been great to catch up with friends and colleagues. Now, I'm told that there are close to 400 people at this conference who are attending for the very first time. That's out of a total of almost 1,000. What I'd like to do, if Harry could try and put the lights up, is ask those of you attending for the first time to please stand up. Welcome to Torch Run. Welcome to the conference. I hope you learn, I hope you get motivated, and I hope you have a great time. Those of you who've been before, ditto. Okay. This conference is going to be like none before. We've got 3 years to catch up with, after all. During our various recognition ceremonies that we'll hold this week, we're not just going to acknowledge the service and dedication of the small number receiving awards in 2022, but also those who are recognised in both 2020 and 2021, but never got the opportunity to stand in front of you. They'll get their chance to stand on the stage and be seen as great achievers of our movement. In addition, later this week, you'll all get the chance to meet with and listen to 5 very special people. I'm sure that most of you have heard the Chief talk at one time or another about how Torch Run started, how a couple of his officers in Wichita, Kansas came in to see him and said, "We've got this idea, we'd like to run a torch from police headquarters to South High School." He said it this morning, that's why I remember. We've got 5 of those original 6 runners coming to conference on Friday, and we've got a whole bunch of things that we're going to do with them where they can share their experiences. Because if it wasn't for that decision, if it wasn't for that meeting in the Chief's office with these people, you wouldn't be here. So take the chance to say hello and listen to them and spend some time with them, please. So on the topic of that first torch run, we didn't get much of a chance to celebrate our 40th anniversary. It was 1981, therefore last year, 2021, was the 40th anniversary of Torch Run. We did a bit, but nowhere near enough. So it's a bit late coming, but we'll be using various aspects of this conference to also help celebrate 40 great years of Torch Run. Thank you. There are a couple of things I have to tell you before I hand over to our wonderful athlete, Renee. Firstly, the council elections have just concluded. I'd like to thank the dozen people who nominated for various positions on our council, every one of them a quality candidate. But the results are in, and it's a privilege to announce the results of the 2022 council elections, and therefore the people who will serve you as torch runners for the next 2 or 3 years, depending on the position. There were 4 region coordinator positions up for election this year, and I'd like to congratulate John Clifton from Region 3, Heath Helton from Region 6, James Cow from Region 12. They've all retained their positions and will continue on council. In addition, we have a new region coordinator from Region 9, which is Europe, Ivan Shields from Northern Ireland, who unfortunately, due to work commitments, couldn't be here, but he'll be representing, along with Jan Branderhorst from the Netherlands, will be representing the interests of Europe on our council. We have 2 new council members in at-large positions. Heather Anderson is the CEO of Special Olympics New Jersey, and she joins the council for the next 3 years. One of the strengths of our council, I think, is the fact that we actually have 3 CEOs of Special Olympics programs. We had Dave Dawn, who stepped down after doing his time. We have Dave Breen from Illinois, and Dave Solo from Northern California. It's really a clear demonstration of the commitment of the relationship between Special Olympics and law enforcement torch run that happens. So I should also tell you who the law enforcement at large position holder is, shouldn't I? A guy known to many of you, I suspect, if you've stood anywhere near a bar. Jimmy Johnson from Alaska joins us for the next 3 years. The final new arrival onto our council is Mark McCorkle from either Idaho or Southern California, depending on his mood. But Mark is joining us as a council appointee and will be taking over the role as the chair of the final leg planning committee. And so it's congratulations to all of them. And of course, we've had 4 members stand down. I'd like to thank their service, and it's Lee Barrett from South Carolina, Dave Dawn from Minnesota, Gary Gordon from the Republic of Ireland, and John Noonan from Maryland. I was told a couple of days ago when I arrived here that it might be the case that Florida and South Carolina may not be able to get here because of the impact of Hurricane Ian. And so I wrote a nice little paragraph wishing them all the best. I then saw Florida and South Carolina. So welcome. I hope everyone in the torch run families in those states were not badly impacted by the hurricane. And welcome here. I'm just about done, people. One final piece of information for you. In 2021, LETR programs worldwide raised a total of, and has he got the numbers up? I don't know. $42,135,278 for the athletes of Special Olympics. Whilst this number is down on our pre-pandemic numbers, it's still a magnificent effort. In total, over the past 41 years, we've raised $946,117,644. Now, 2022 is almost done, people. We've only got less than 2 months to go. We need $54 million. So reach into your pockets. Let's get it done. Let me please stand up here with a chief in Chicago next year and say, we've raised $1 billion. That would make me very happy, and I have this funny feeling it would make the chief rather happy as well. So in closing, I'd like to wish all of you the best for the next 3 days. Make use of every moment. Let yourself be immersed in the atmosphere. And hopefully you'll leave here more committed and motivated than ever to help the athletes. It's now time for me to introduce our next speaker. She's no stranger to the podium, as she currently serves as one of 10 Sergeant Shriver International Global Messengers. Renee Manfredi is a gifted multi-sport athlete who has competed in Special Olympics for nearly 15 years. Her athlete accomplishments are numerous, to include a gold medal in soccer at the 2018 USA Games and Female Athlete of the Year recognition. As you will soon learn, Renee has many other talents, which have served to enhance the lives of individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities around the world. So please join me in welcoming Renee Manfredi to the podium.
Good morning and aloha. It is so great to see you all here today. I'm sure I speak for all of us when I say it is super great to be back in person for this conference. I am so proud of your perseverance and dedication during this unusual and stressful time for our communities and for your love for Special Olympics. Thank you all so much. In 1981, the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics was started by Wichita, Kansas Police Chief Richard LeMunyon. Since then, it has become the largest fundraiser for Special Olympics and continues to raise public awareness globally for the organization and persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities, like me. I want to thank everyone here in law enforcement for all you do for Special Olympics, my fellow athletes, and me as well. not just here in Texas, but all around the world. I am so honored to be here with all of you here today. My story that I want to share with you is about my faith in God, the support of my family, and finding Special Olympics who helped me find my voice. I have been a Special Olympics athlete for 15 years. I am a proud year-round athlete. I compete in basketball, softball, swimming, soccer, and now track and field and tennis. I am also a proud military child. My father served 30 years in the United States Navy. I have lived the past 16 years in the land of Aloha, Hawaii, and I know my ohana is back there somewhere. Hawaii? In 2021, I made the big jump from the Aloha State to the Lone Star State of Texas. Howdy, everyone. I am 37 years old, and I am an adult with an intellectual and developmental disability, or IDD for short. I am on the autism spectrum and have several learning disabilities. You know, when I stand up here and say those words, I feel pretty exposed, like I will be judged in some way. But I hope you will see that just because I have an intellectual and developmental disability, we are more alike than we are different. Due to my disabilities, my school days were some of the most difficult and challenging days I've ever faced. My learning disability makes it very difficult to process what is being said to me, like instructions, word problems, and games. These things went fast, and I was always struggling to keep up. But the hardest thing was the social aspects. They were so crushing. I had a really difficult time developing friendships. As everything was more difficult, I began talking to myself and reciting my favorite movies. While this helped me cope with the stress, I was the one that got picked on even more. I was that girl people called retarded or stupid, and I was asked, "What is wrong with you?" Well, to be honest, I didn't know the answer. I didn't know anything was wrong with me. All I knew was that things were difficult, and I was lonely. As I transitioned out of high school, I didn't qualify for services to help someone like me learn independent living skills, or job skills. They said I was too high functioning. My option was vocational rehab, but I did not qualify for their job programs either. They said I was too low functioning. So here I was, learning terms like too high functioning or too low functioning, and all I wanted was to move forward into the next phase of my life, like everyone else. But unfortunately, all those doors seemed to be closed for me, except one. We just had to not lose faith and keep putting one foot in front of the other until we got to it. It was a door I could never have imagined would change my life: Special Olympics. So if this were a movie, the music would go from sad to exciting. Here we go. One day, my mom told me about Special Olympics and suggested that we check it out. Now, I'll confess, I wasn't very excited. You see, I'm not very good at sports or coordinated, and the idea of getting made fun of in whatever sport I was in really wasn't something I was looking forward to. But my mom said, "We don't like it, we won't go again. What if we got to lose?" Well, that got me to thinking, what did I have to lose? Answer, nothing. So I took the big leap of faith and went to my first Special Olympics practice. Joining Special Olympics was like walking through a door into a world full of possibility and opportunity. For the first time in my life, I was part of a team that wanted me. I wasn't told to be better, go faster, or be different than I am. I was just accepted as me, as Renee, with my flaws and imperfections all in one. Now, that may not sound as grand or as impactful as it really is, but this was the first thing that began to change my life: acceptance. This acceptance is where I found my self-esteem. I no longer felt ashamed or out of place because I was slow. Not long after joining Special Olympics, I was invited to join the Athlete Leadership Program to learn about public speaking. Off I went to learn about something that sounded even scarier than sports: public speaking. Public speaking would lead me to one of the most impactful moments of my life so far. That was when I gave my very first speech. I'd like to share that moment with you. I was just terrified, and I literally cried my way through it. You see, it was the first time I had ever shared about my life and my struggles. As I was speaking, I could also see someone in the audience crying. I was so struck that my challenges mattered to him, a complete stranger. I felt that for the first time ever, someone actually heard what I was trying to say. My story not only broke down a barrier in that audience, but it opened a door inside of me that I never knew existed. I call it finding your voice. That moment changed my life. For the first time, I began to feel that I had a purpose in this life. I began to look forward to sharing my story because I felt like I was making an impact, and hopefully today I am. I think that to be able to communicate is our biggest key in life. When a person can't communicate, they're in a bit of a prison. I was let out of that prison through Special Olympics and their leadership programs. I can't think of anything more important. As my confidence grew, I leapt at the opportunities to join the Special Olympics Hawaii Board of Directors as the athlete representative and became a health messenger. And in 2018, I was selected as a Sargent Shriver International Global Messenger, or SSIGM for short. Thank you. Whoever would have thought that that little girl who walked with her head down, reciting movies and hoping that no one would make fun of her today. I'm so sorry, I skipped a bit. When the journey brought me to Texas, I was met with the opportunity to work as a paid consultant with the Organizational Excellence and Health team at Special Olympics International. Whoever would have thought that that little girl who walked with her head down, reciting movies and hoping that nobody would make fun of her today, would be able to say, "I am a consultant." I sure didn't. I want everyone who has ever felt small to know they have something important to give. They just don't know it yet. I know it may be at a slower pace, but I have achieved far more than all the doctors that I have met, past and present, said I ever would. But I think the most important thing that I've gained is I am at peace with my disability. Throughout my life, I saw it as a burden. But thanks to the acceptance, opportunities, and inclusion I've received from joining Special Olympics, having a disability is not the burden I thought it was. Special Olympics looked past my disabilities and saw my abilities. Special Olympics took me from the sidelines of life and put me on the playing field, and I am forever grateful. Thank you so much for letting me share my story with you today. Mahalo nui loa and hui ho. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Now at this time, I'd like to introduce a Texas trio. Tim Martin, Chief Banks, sorry, I'm gonna start again. And now I'd like to introduce a Texas trio. Tim Martin, Chief Banks, and Randy Bannister. An adamant supporter of law enforcement and someone who made sure that Texas was top of mind when it was announced this very conference was seeking a destination state, CEO of Special Olympics Texas, Tim Martin. Tim is ensuring Texas's law enforcement torch run engagements grow year after year, month after month, and day after day. We also have someone very local, and you may have seen him in the advertisements for this very conference. I know I speak for the city of Round Rock when I say they are very proud to call Chief Banks their own. And finally of this trio, we would like to also welcome LETR's Randy Bannister. Randy of Tarrant County Sheriff's Department has a true passion for the athletes and is also personally connected to a Special Olympics athlete in his very own family. Additionally, Randy serves as director of the Special Olympics Texas LETR statewide council. Let's hear it for these three guys in Texas.
Welcome. So I am Alan Banks, and so I'm sitting in the back and I'm waiting for my turn to come up and my job is to come out and just welcome everybody to the city of Round Rock. As I'm listening to Renee, halfway through I'm like, why didn't I go first? Man, that was a setup. Terrible. Let's give Renee another hand. What an outstanding young lady. So on behalf of the Round Rock Police Department, the City of Round Rock, and Kalahari, we want to welcome each and every one of you here. What a special event. We are so happy and honored that it was chosen here in the City of Round Rock. So everybody from Round Rock Police Department, please stand. Again, we can't thank you enough. If there's anything that you need during your time here, please let one of us know. Why is this so special to us? And I'll tell you, it's because of a young man named Tyler Banks. Tyler's a 20-year-old young man, lives in New Zealand. His father, a professional basketball player for 15 years. He had the hopes and the dreams that his son would follow in his footsteps. We talked about it as his wife carried their son for 9 months. But once his son was born, it was determined there was something that was different with him. At the age of 20 now, Tyler cannot talk, cannot express himself. He'll never be able to play the game of basketball. But I can tell you one thing that Tyler will always know is that he's loved. And I can tell you with every single one of these Special Olympics athletes, that's why we're here. That's why the city of Round Rock is so vested in Special Olympics and law enforcement's torch runs, is because we need to show these Special Olympic athletes they are loved. And listening to Elizabeth Campbell at breakfast this morning, one of the things she said that stuck out to me was that we are, everybody in public safety, first responders, we are their heroes. But Elizabeth, I'm here to tell you, you are our heroes. To every athlete, continue to show your ability, because I promise you, there are things that you can do that I'll never be able to do. We in law enforcement, our first responders, public safety, fire, regardless, we're here, we'll stand beside you, behind you, in front of you. We'll support you. We'll be that shoulder to lean on when you need us the most. We need you. Thank you for all that you do. Continue to push. Continue to make it fun for us, because we're going to continue to make it fun for you guys. Elizabeth, thank you for your words this morning. It's very special. So, Elizabeth's over to my left, your right. She's standing up over there. Wait for us, Elizabeth. Thank you all for being here. For 400 new members or new attendees, I hope this is a special opportunity for you to get involved. To all my law enforcement partners, I have many law enforcement partners from around the state of Texas who are here with us tonight. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this. This is very special, and we need to continue to make it special. We need to continue to make Texas one of the top states that supports Special Olympics and law enforcement torch run. Again, thank you. Welcome. God bless each and every one of you.
Howdy. Howdy, and welcome to the Lone Star State. We have been working hard to make this conference one to remember. After all, everything is bigger in Texas. I'm Randy Bannister. I'm the director of law enforcement torch run here in the state of Texas. I also like to introduce my son, Kobe Bannister, being an athlete and a speaker. My connection to Special Olympics and torch run goes back more than 36 years ago. This is personal, very personal to me. You see, when Kobe was born, the doctors told us that we should put him in an institution. For us, that wasn't an option. And that's when we found Special Olympics and law enforcement torch run. I want to give a good heartfelt thank you to Special Olympics and torch run for giving us the possibilities when everyone told us it would be impossible. When they tried to fill us with doubt, you gave us hope. Hope for amazing life that Kobe's had and others. So to my brothers and sisters in law enforcement, you carry the flame of hope, not only for the athletes like Kobe, but families like mine. Because of Kobe has the chance to belong in his community. Words cannot express how grateful I am to each of you for giving my son, my role model, my hero, the chance to belong. My hat goes off to you. Thank you very much. Have a good conference.
Well, talk about drawing the short straw. This is the second time in a month that I've had to follow Colby and Randy. But I'm going to get a little motion going here. So first of all Special Olympic athletes, can you please stand in the room? You're why we're here. All right, thanks, athletes. You guys are absolutely amazing. First of all, I want to thank last night for everybody coming out to the welcome reception. What a great weather that was drawn up by Chief Banks and the Round Rock Police Department. The way they called that in was amazing here in Texas. But our sponsor as well, the TMPA, the Texas Municipal Police Association, they're always here for us in Texas, making sure that the officers have the greatest of the experiences. They're also cooking for our athletes all the time. So thank you so much for your continued support. You know, events like this don't happen by accident. So our international council, the planning committee and how we put this forward for the conference, and then our local conference planning committees, the city of Round Rock, local law enforcement, I know Michelle Walters is here as well, and all the staff that have worked so hard to make this happen, and our volunteers. Thank you so much. You know, I got involved in Special Olympics in 1986 by someone that was very involved with law enforcement on the other side. I was a really bad kid. And people say that now and they don't believe it, but I was. And I grew up as a bully. And the closest I ever had to a father was a coach. And he sentenced me to Special Olympics. And I realized shortly after that our athletes don't have disabilities. They have the ability to change the human spirit. What our society fails to do is provide the stage for them to change those human spirits. What law enforcement does is you open the doors, and our athletes are happy to kick the door the rest of the way open. But the most magical folks that we have in this world are our law enforcement and our athletes combined. You truly are our heroes. In Texas, we're driving to make our program so much bigger, and the campaign is called Calling All Heroes. Everybody in this room, you've answered that call. And you answer that call for us every day in your communities. Thank you for being our heroes, and thank you for being here in Texas. And I promise, and from what I saw last night, it's already started, have fun, and if you're not having fun, come talk to me. Welcome to Texas.
So much more impressive speakers than me. They've done very well. Okay, for 41 years, law enforcement throughout the world has carried the flame of hope, advocating for all those with intellectual disabilities. And today, that flame has arrived here in Round Rock, Texas. And with its arrival, we celebrate another year serving together as guardians of the flame. As we light the torch this morning and carry it into this hall, again we ask you to take a moment and reflect upon why you do what you do and the commitment you have made to the athletes and your local programs. And in so doing, I personally invite you to reaffirm that commitment as we light the flame of hope.
One dream creates a spark. That spark becomes a flame. And once again we watch impossible become reality. If a single dream can have the power change the course of history, then just imagine what a million hearts can do when we believe. It's up to you and me. We will carry the torch and let the fire grow here inside our hearts, where our hope and faith live on and on. For every star we've yet to reach, and for every distant dream, we light the way One by one we're moving mountains, reaching for the final goal. And we cannot contain the fire of hope that burns within our soul. Yeah, we will pass it on. We will carry the torch and let the fire grow here inside our hearts, where our hope and faith live on and on. For every star we get to reach, and for every distant dream, we light the way. We will carry the torch. Once you've seen desire and destiny collide, you'll do whatever it would take to keep the flame alive. We will carry the torch and let the fire grow inside our hearts, where our hope and faith live on and on. For every star we get to reach, and for every distant dream, we light the way. We will carry the torch. Yeah, we will carry the torch. We will carry the torch. Carry the
The flame we carry represents many things for our movement. It is the single most visible, iconic symbol of the torch run, representing a bright future and possibilities for those with intellectual disabilities. As guardians of the flame, we must ensure that the flame burns brighter each and every day, so that the future generations of officers, volunteers, athletes, and families learn the importance of our message and experience the joy of our efforts. When we carry the flame, we remind everyone that law enforcement represents everything that is principled, fair, and decent. Our unity in this great cause tells the world that law enforcement stands for strength, justice, courage, and helping others, everyone, everywhere. As guardians of the flame, we protect these ideals and the symbol of these beliefs as we do the athletes and families of Special Olympics and the communities we serve. In recognition of those honored by their programs to act as guardians of the flame throughout the conference, and to show respect for the symbol of the law enforcement torch run, would you please stand in place each session as the flame of hope is carried to and from the ballroom. Thank you and enjoy the conference.